Streaming live from an abandoned Nazi base, it's the Tim and Josh Show.
Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Tim and Josh Show. I'm Tim.
I'm Josh.
And I was stupid.
Alright, as you can tell, we have a guest speaker on the show. And why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, my name is Caleb Patton. I am a solo musician local here in my hometown for ft.CalebPattonCovers, and I have the wonderful pleasure of being on the Tim and Josh Show this beautiful, beautiful day.
That is too nice. There's no pleasure to being on the Tim and Josh Show. Believe me, I'm here every week.
Right, except last week.
We saw the video.
Yeah, we had the video, but we didn't have a full show.
The video was better than the show.
I'd argue that.
The video ended quicker than the show. It was better.
True, yeah, if that's what we're going with.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as long, yeah.
So, what have you been up to for the past week, Tim?
Just waiting patiently for your return.
For my return, well, I come with news from the north. I've been to New York City, Boston, Salem, Massachusetts, and Mystic, Connecticut, which is as boring as it sounds.
I was really scared that you were going to say winter was coming. You said
Winter's coming. Prepare yourselves. Did you miss me?
I did. A lot, you know. I don't know how I got by.
So you've talked to me. I know you've probably talked to Tim plenty about New York and your obsession with it, seeing as that you want to live as whatever the hell his name is from How I Met Your Mother.
Barney Stinson.
Yeah, sorry, Barney.
The great Barney Stinson.
Well, tell us about your legend.
Wait for it.
Dairy trip to New York.
Well, let me tell you, it was. People say all the time that when you go to New York City, you have these big dreams of what it's going to be, and once you get there, you immediately get turned off by the city. And people say it's a great place to visit, but never to stay. And I can tell you that all those people are absolutely wrong. I loved everything about the city, from the smelly homeless guys to the crowded streets to the crazy amount of Asians. A lot of Asian people in New York City. But it was great. I loved everything about it. I got to see the Tonys on Times Square. I saw a show on Broadway that I never thought I'd see a show on Broadway. I saw Times Square itself, which was amazing. There's just so many people, and the traffic there is as crazy as people describe it. Like, nobody cares about street signs or stoplights, and the cops don't even care. Like, you can just go if you can get in.
Strange.
Sounds like you fit in perfect, Josh. What show did you actually get to go see? Because, you know, as a theater connoisseur myself, I quite enjoy the stage.
Oh, well, I saw Chicago, which is apparently the longest running American
I thought you went to New York.
Yeah, I was pretty sure you said New York.
Well, Chicago's actually a musical, so you guys are jerks. And it was amazing. The girl from Moesha, I've never actually seen the show, but I've heard of it.
That's because Moesha is the stuff. Come on, Josh.
Well, she played the main character, and she was amazing and fantastic. And a little side note, go see Chicago. All the girls are in their underwear the entire play.
Fantastic.
It was beautiful.
I'm sorry.
Didn't you tell me the guys were too, though?
Like, well, I mean, hey, you know, you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, you take your significant other, you both get to stare at half-dressed, scantily clad men and women.
Nothing wrong with that. It's America.
Nothing wrong with that at all. It's the American dream.
But I will tell you, in the theaters, you're not allowed to have an open container. So if you wanted a drink or anything during intermission, you have to go buy it. Mm-hmm. And I bought they had Pepsi products, which is weird because you never find Pepsi anywhere. But they had Pepsi products, and for one cup, it was $10. And if you wanted, like, a beer, it was $18.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't pay anything for Pepsi. You'd have to pay me to get Pepsi.
Pepsi's better than Coke, bro. And a blind taste
I think we're
test.
gonna have to end the show here. All right, guys, that's all we got for this week.
Sorry, everybody. Now it's the Caleb Patton Covers show.
Plays away, Caleb. But yeah, the musical was amazing. I had originally wanted to see Avenue Q, but I was there with my girlfriend, and she had never seen a Broadway musical or heard of musicals, and so I chose one I thought she would be interested in. And the way it works, if you buy tickets when you go to New York, there's this ticket center in the middle of Times Square that you have to go really early in the morning, and they sell all the tickets for the day that didn't get sold already. And so we got the tickets to Chicago at half price.
Yeah, you can get them super cheap.
Yeah, but they were still $90 each.
Okay,
Oh, man.
Yeah, I wanted to go see the Book of Mormon, and if you buy a ticket to the Book of Mormon outright, it's $480.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're so much better off trying to see a traveling show coming through London or something like that.
Yeah, so by the time I got up there, the shows that they had options to, there was Avenue Q, Les Mis was there, but I really didn't think that if you've never seen a Broadway musical, Les Mis would be the one.
Yeah,
to start
Les
with.
Mis isn't a starter musical.
Right.
Chicago's a good choice.
Chicago is really good. There's a musical I did want to go see, but I couldn't see, because Neil Patrick Harris was in it originally, and now Darren Criss is in it.
Hedwig and the
Angry Itch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they had tickets for that too.
Yeah, man.
I almost went to go see
LGBT Pride, man. They're coming out strong on Broadway this year.
I mean, it's Broadway. They've always been coming out.
Yeah, I don't know what you're expecting on Broadway.
Okay. But in all seriousness, I believe that last year the big musical that was getting all the Tonys was Kinky Boots, if I'm not mistaken.
Kinky Boots was there, yeah. I almost saw Kinky Boots, too.
This year, Hedwig and the Angry Inch was actually one of the newest ones. If I'm not mistaken, those might have been a year ago and 2 years ago.
Yeah, because Hedwig, at last year's Tonys, I'm going to sound so flamboyant here. At last year's Tony...
There's nothing different about that job.
Right, that's normal, so...
Right. Neil Patrick Harris performed a number from Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah, and so... so it's about 2 years old, but... I mean, Darren Criss, he's from Glee, and you can't really go wrong with Darren Criss. He's a great vocalist.
You lost me at Glee.
I know. I lose everyone at Glee. I got them for Broadway, but once I go too obscure...
I don't know if obscure is the word I'd use.
Look, let's just say too off the rugged path. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, off the rugged path would be the correct term I'd use for that.
So, anyways, I was talking about the Tonys. In Times Square, I didn't even know the Tonys were going on until I got to Times Square, and they had these white chairs just set out, and it was this big fenced off area. And they said that if you came back at night, you could come watch the Tonys, and they projected it on one of those big advertisement billboards you see.
Uh-huh.
And, it was really cool because they showed us what was going on when the cameras were off. And, there's a whole nother award ceremony that takes place an hour before the actual Tonys, where all the stars and stuff are there, and it's pretty much just for them, and nobody gets to see it unless you're at Times Square or in Radio City Hall.
Yeah.
Which was really, really cool to see. And when Tonys were going on, I walked by Radio City Hall. Well, actually, I rode by in a taxi, but whatever. Which means that I was exactly one city block away from Neil Patrick Harris. So that makes me happy.
Aw, you're a city block away from
That's
your
right.
idol
I
garage.
was close to Barney Stinson in New York City.
It's pretty awesome. Oh, did you find that burger joint?
No, I couldn't find the burger joint.
What burger joint were you looking for?
The best burger joint ever.
Yeah, you've only stumbled upon it. Well, they found it again, right? Or they only found it the one time?
I think they found it the second time, but it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
You're talking about How I Met Your Mother stuff.
The
Yeah.
best, one of the greatest shows.
Right over my head.
No.
That's exactly what it did.
But so I rode in a taxi once in New York City. And that was because I was about to go see the Broadway show, Chicago. And so I thought, why not take a taxi? It was literally 2 blocks away. It wasn't far. I could have walked. And that's one thing. New York City, as they say, is a grid. It's one of the easiest cities to navigate in ever. I was not lost at all because it's exactly an X and Y type grid. you're on 4th and 5th, you go up one, go over right, you're on 5th and 6th. It's really easy.
So you could deliver packages there.
There were a lot of people on bikes who like just didn't care about the taxis or the stop signs or whatever, and so many guys on bikes delivering food and stuff almost got hit.
Yeah, what was that movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt that was all about that? You know what I'm talking about? He was a bike messenger and he had to deliver something, and then he found out that it was for like the mob or something like that.
I haven't seen that, no.
Yeah,
I do love Joseph Gordon-Levitt though.
Yeah, if you drive in front of them or try to cut them off or something, they have like chains, like just chains that they use to lock up their bikes. They will slam it onto your hood or slam it and break your side mirror.
Oh yeah, there's like you don't really understand the rules of driving in New York until you drove in New York, and I have actually driven in New York. Not much. I went around the block. It wasn't far at all. I drove to the parking garage where I left the car, for the entire stay. But there is a method to the madness. Like if after a while you kind of get when you can go and when you can't go, and when you can tell someone to fuck off and when you can cut someone off. The first thing I saw when I came into New York City, we were greeted. We got onto there's a toll bridge going into the city. And as soon as we got off the bridge, I saw a drunk, homeless man talking to a brick wall. And that's when I knew I had made it. I was where dreams come true.
Yeah. It's your first New York experience.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, welcome to New York City.
What you don't know, though, is that he actually sees the silence, and he was talking to them, and you had no idea.
Right, he's actually saving the universe from
that was actually the doctor.
talking to the silence. I like that.
So, Josh, I know as myself, one of the things that I want to see when I go to New York is a bunch of the areas that they shot movies in. And obviously, being in Times Square, you got to experience where the infamous battle between Spider-Man and Electro took place.
Okay.
But
Spider-Man.
I mean, did you even try to hunt down the even more infamous Ghostbusters?
No, I didn't. I did not look up the Ghostbusters station like that.
Yes, it's an old firehouse.
I know.
And it's on my list of things to do.
So here's the thing about my trip to New York. Before we get back into this, I did not only go to New York. I went to New York and I went to Boston and I went to Salem, Massachusetts. So I only got about 2 days in each. So I was limited on what I could see and what I could do because. I really got a full day in each and then half a day and then I had to drive to the next location. So I try to hit the major things that I could. One thing I will tell you, though, is I remember standing in Times Square and looking around, and the amount of people, like, no picture can do justice to how many people are in Times Square. All I could think was, how in the world do they shut that down to film movies? Like I Am Legend was filmed. They did part of that in Times Square. And I was actually out of luck because who's that big girl that's in like Pitch Perfect?
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, she is filming a new movie, and I was there the day after they were filming in Times Square.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson's funny as hell too.
Which would have been
cool to
awesome to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to, my main areas I focused on was primarily just Times Square and Broadway, because I had 2 days, and the first day I went to Times Square, and the second day I did the super touristy thing, and I didn't go to the Statue of Liberty, but I went to where the ferries leave, and I got as close as I could to it. I went to Central Park, but only a little bit, because I actually went to the Museum of Arts in Central Park. Mm-hmm. And that was beautiful. The museum, first of all, it costs $25 per person to get in, and they have passes, like week passes, like so you can go in every day. And that museum is so huge, there was absolutely no way you could get through that in like 3 days. You still wouldn't be able to see everything.
Oh yeah.
What was really cool is they had brought in part of the pyramid, like an Egyptian tomb. They just cut it out of the pyramid and dropped it in the middle of this museum. And so I saw like hieroglyphs and stuff. They had this big Chinese exhibit going on, not just Chinese, but like Asian culture all around. And I saw like old-fashioned, like, real samurai outfits and uniforms. I saw so much art that it was. I saw Van Gogh, I saw Monet, I saw Picasso, I saw literally every famous artist you could think of. I saw them.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Did you really just ask me if I've seen Ferris
Right.
Bueller's Day Off?
Right. But
You asked me of like all people that you know, have you seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, man? Yes, Josh, I've seen it.
Well, good. Then you should know about the painting that they stare at in the middle of that film.
Yes.
I saw that painting.
Yeah.
That was cool. And like it was just sitting up there, and nobody was like paying it any attention. I was like, "You guys, it's the painting."
Why is nobody freaking out right now?
I was freaking out. And then so you could take pictures of the whole museum, but when they had the permanent collection and the traveling exhibits. And the permanent collection, they had those paintings or whatever. And their traveling exhibit, they had 4 paintings by Van Gogh. And they were all like different purple flowers. They're really cool, but they would not let us take pictures in the room.
Oh yeah, no, you.
Naturally, you took pictures.
Oh yeah, I took a picture. Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did take a picture.
You're a dick. You're not supposed to take pictures of those because they're so precious. Like if you took flash photography, it could ruin the painting.
Why would I? Well, I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna do flash photography.
Well, you out of like 100 people though.
Right. There were definitely people there who were like not as respectful to the artwork as I would have liked. So New York City, when it comes to food, I totally did a tourist mistake. So as I said, I was there with my girlfriend, and I had a budget because I was going to all these places. So I decided to take her out to like dinner in New York on Times Square.
No, you didn't.
And I chose the Olive Garden.
Oh no!
Square.
Why would you do that?
Because she wanted to go there, so I took her. And let me tell you, it cost $50 for the two of us, and we both drank water and had one entree. They doubled the price of everything in that restaurant. Don't
That's
go there.
ridiculous.
Yeah, you're in New York. That's why you go to like a little mom and pop
We
restaurant.
we did.
You go in and they go, hey, we don't
Hey!
give us a slice of pizza. You
I-
pay us $30.
It was more like, what do you want, or get out of line.
Yeah.
I did go. I went to there. First of all, pizza places, billions of pizza places.
Yeah.
Everyone sells pizza.
Pizza Central.
Everyone sells sandwiches. I did go. There was this local like deli right by my hotel, and I went there just about every day. And they were really, really.
Did you get a
good.
muffaletta?
I got a falafel, which I didn't even know.
Like all the things that you could have gotten, you got a falafel.
Falafel, which just sounded there is so much food in New York and so much street vendors and peddling. When I got out of the cab to go to the show, there was this guy who tried to sell me his mixtape.
Was it fire?
That's the problem. He puts it in my hands. My hands caught on fire. I couldn't take it.
Oh man, you should have been prepared, like giving you like a fan first or something, cool
Right.
it down.
Hey, let me put your hands in this liquid nitrogen real quick, and then let me give you my mixtape.
Woo! So that's pretty much all I did in New York,
Oh.
in New York City.
So you said that like people say that they don't like New York, but they stay there. It's only a place to visit. I mean,
Yeah.
you were only there for 2 days. You think you got a good experience of it, or you think you missed a whole lot, or?
Oh, well, definitely. I definitely missed a lot of the city. I mean, the city is huge, as people say, but again, it's not like, I don't know. It's just not as huge as I thought it was, but it's still like gigantic.
There's just a lot that's crammed.
It's more
such a
like it's
small
all
place.
such a small place. Because literally every street you go down, every road, there's different stores, different shops. The variety of stores on every street is just impossible to beat. So I missed out on a lot of that. And again, I did go to Times Square, which is where all of the people are. When I went out to like Central Park, or when I went to go see where the Statue of Liberty was at, the traffic was still crazy, but it was a lot more tame. And so I would really like to know, like, I didn't get to go to Little Italy, which I wanted to go to. I didn't go to Chinatown. So those are all things I missed. And I didn't even get to ride the subway because there was no point because I was right next to everything I was next to.
Man, you got to be careful in Chinatown, though. You're going to go down there, fall down a hole, and have to fight some samurais, find a whole underground area.
I've been preparing my whole life for that moment, Caleb.
Yeah, big trouble in Little Chinatown, man. You got to watch out.
So yeah, I think there's a lot that I missed, but I wouldn't say I saw the worst parts of the city because I didn't see the broke parts of the city or like the real homeless parts of the city, but I think I saw the parts of the city that people complain about, and I think that's Times Square. That the amount of people. Yeah. And I mean that didn't bother me.
Do you think your perception would change of New York if you visited for a while?
Like if I stayed there for like 2 weeks instead of 2 days. Yeah, I definitely think that. I mean, I think I'd fall more in love with the city. There's like. When I say I'm in love with the city, I'm in love with the city. It was everything I wanted it to be.
Well, there's one of my friends. He has gone to New York two or three times now, and I actually didn't think about this just until this point. While you were there, he said that one of the things that really gave him a headache that he had to kind of go back to where he was staying and decompress from was the amount of languages that you hear while you're there, and the constant, like, almost just like verbal noise pollution.
Yeah, it's like whenever you watch a TV show and they're sitting in a diner and they have like the extras are all talking in the background.
Oh yeah,
that noise is constant. When they say the city never sleeps, like even in my hotel room, I was really high up, and the way the hotels are there, they're not big, like you'd see, in other rural areas. They're tightly condensed and they just stack on top of each other. And my hotel room, I was on I think I was on the 13th floor, and I could still hear everything up there.
That's ridiculous.
The city is like its own beast. It talks. But then again, talking about the different languages, I've never seen such a variety of cultures and ethnicities. Times Square was literally anybody from anywhere you could see, and that was kind of really cool.
Lots of Asian people.
There was a lot of Asian people, and there was a lot of Middle Eastern people. Nothing against that. That's just what I saw a lot of. And then I saw a lot of British people, and that was about it. That was the main ones.
Well, I'll promise you right now, it doesn't matter where you go, you will find Asian people everywhere. I grew up in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I remember being in 5th grade and having a group of 10 to 12 Asian people walk into my middle school and start taking pictures everywhere and going, "Oh, this is where Elvis went to school." And I was like, "I don't know." And they were like, "You knew Elvis's family?" And I was like, "No, I don't."
Yes.
Leave me alone.
You should have been like, "Yes, $5. I'll tell you."
Yes,
Yeah, I was in 5th grade. I'm not going to talk to a group of strange Asian people I've never met.
When I was in 12th grade, I was in orchestra, to add to my coolness level. And we had a group of people from, I think it was China, come in, and they just came in and started taking pictures of our orchestra class and asking us about how we learn and stuff. And I asked one of the kids, and I was like, "So who's your favorite musical artist?" He said, "How do you say Lady Gaga?"
Oh no.
Nice. Rad. So I was like, all the way in China, they love Lady Gaga. Okay, so the last craziest thing about New York City, openly on the street was offered crack.
You were?
Yep, he said $60 for a G.
And you didn't buy it?
Right? That's a deal, right? This is coke.
I asked for a souvenir, you bring me a penguin, and instead of that, you could have... I mean... Great, Josh. Great.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's cool. Next time we'll get 2 G's, we'll split it.
So, Tim, New York was fantastic. It was great. I loved everything about it. But don't you dare think I've forgotten about how much I love the Tim and Josh show, and my dedication to it. And in all this excitement, we've forgotten to do one of the Tim and Josh show staples, and that's news. The news!
The news. Let's do the news.
Let's do the news, Tim.
Welcome to the Tim and Josh Show news. This just in, a meteor has struck New York City right after Josh has left. And it was devastating. Everybody died.
Actually, Tim, I did not leave.
Oh.
We bought ourselves from the library. There are four of us survivors. It's where I met Caleb here.
Oh.
I teleported myself using my wizard powers.
That's right.
Speaking of wizards, we had a great wizard pass away over
Oh gosh. That was sad. That was sad to find out.
Mr. Christopher Lee, at age of 92, I believe.
Yep. Though I will say, and you're gonna hear me say it, in the last Hobbit movie, he wasn't looking so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, he still kicked Sauron's ass.
He did, but that was an extra. So
it was an extra, and it was scripted.
I'm just saying. As news goes, going back into the old Marvel DC debate, it has actually been said by multiple sources now that Marvel will not be making an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con this year. It hasn't been said so far as to why they aren't. I am speculating that it is because DC is making a comeback as far as television series go, but my true test of DC's ability to create a good superhero movie again will come when Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice comes out. I'm just saying, too many cameos, gonna make it way overdone. I already know Josh's standpoint on this movie.
Okay, well let me go into that real quick. My internal debate with Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. One is when they announced Batman vs. Superman, I was a little excited because I thought
that they were going to fight.
And we would have a winner. No. But now I know that no matter what happens, who cares? At the end of the film, they're going to form the Justice League.
Lame.
No, it's not lame at all.
That is lame, all right?
It's not lame. I know you literally just want to sit here and...
They're going to give Aquaman a movie.
Yes.
Aquaman does not need a movie.
No.
Okay. Pause. T for timeout on this. Neither one of you are up to date with the New 52 series. Aquaman is not the stereotypical Aquaman that everybody makes fun of from like the 1960s.
You ever play his GameCube game? It was awful.
Again, this is not the same Aquaman that we have paid attention to.
The Joe Dirt haircut.
Go back to your computers. Look up New 52 movie, Throne of Atlantis. I promise you, you will sit there, you will have your hands up to your face, you will be screaming at the screen, because it is bad ass.
Is there a trailer off right already?
You see blood, you see people get annihilated, people are dying.
Whoa, blood in a comic book movie.
DC has taken a whole new standpoint on comics, and Aquaman is a bad ass dude, which is why they got Jason Momoa, or Moa, however you say his last name. They got Khal Drogo to play that dude, and it is going to be off the chain, man. Off the chain.
Okay, so
off the chain hooks.
Caleb is excited.
I am.
I can tell. He's passionate about this.
I am a little passionate.
This is also the last time Caleb Patton will ever be on the Tim and Josh.
Never come back. They're kicking me off.
So speaking of, first of all, before we leave the Comic-Con thing, how can you do a comic book convention and not have Marvel there?
That's their choice.
That's absolutely...
Marvel's going to have their own.
It originally started as just a comic book convention, but it's more than just that. It's comic books,
it's pop culture.
Yeah. It's Supernatural,
Doctor Who's there.
Everyone goes to this, okay? So they, as far as I've read, have not said that, or they haven't said they're going to be at their designated place that they are every year. And that they're just not coming.
What do you think? Are they going to be there to represent the comic book side, or is it like no Marvel whatsoever?
No, Marvel might just not show up at all.
Wow. Well, I mean, that I feel like it's a bad move, though. I get Marvel's trying to be secretive, but if DC goes, then DC's going to get all the publicity.
Yeah, but I mean, what good is publicity if you put out poor product?
You just said Aquaman was going to...
Just like the Tim and Josh show.
Aquaman...
Right,
yeah,
just like the Tim and Josh show.
No, Aquaman's going to be great. I just don't know how I feel
Oh,
about.
what do you think about Benedict Cumberbatch as was it Doctor Strange?
Yeah, Doctor Strange is going to be fantastic.
It's gonna be great.
It's going to be amazing. Just like I love that Paul Rudd is going to be playing Ant-Man.
Okay, I did see the Ant-Man trailer and I was kind of surprised. I'm kind of interested to see Ant-Man.
Yeah, because Ant-Man's awesome.
So at first I was
Y'all
like,
watch it. Yeah, the concept is weird,
yeah.
but y'all watch that one.
Pim particles, dude. Make myself tiny, but still as strong as I
Okay,
am.
so speaking of conventions, Comic-Con we're talking about now. There's a really huge convention going on right now, and we'll probably talk about it more next week, after it's over. But E3 is happening, and that's the Electronic Entertainment Expo, or where all the big video game companies come and announce all the good stuff coming from them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Every year you got Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. I think Ubisoft has one, and I can't think of all the other ones that have one.
Square Enix is back.
Yeah, but I hope they show Kingdom Hearts, because that's all I want to see from Square Enix.
They actually are not showing anything for Kingdom Hearts.
Ah, man.
I read the list of video games, and it might have been updated, I don't know, but I read the list of video games for what they were going to be bringing to E3, and, there wasn't a lot that I was super excited for.
One thing, I'm kind of disappointed in Nintendo, because they've already announced that they're not going to be showing the new Zelda game, which is, I think, one of their, besides Mario, their biggest...
Wait, I thought they were going to show Zelda.
They're not going to show Zelda. They said that they actually pushed back the release date to Zelda, and so we know nothing except for what was shown at the Game Developers Conference.
So all we get is Splatoon.
Yeah, which, I'm not really interested in. So I feel bad for Nintendo. I'm just super excited, for Half-Life 3, because this is going to finally be the year.
Womp, womp,
This is
womp.
going to be the year that all my waiting will be paid off, all right?
Speaking of waiting, other gamers in the gamer universe have become extremely excited for the announcement of Fallout 4.
Bethesda. Yeah, the app, they just released an app today, actually. It's called, it's like Fallout Shelter. I've been playing it all day. I love it. It's like you like manage like a vault and you get to number it and stuff. Obviously mine's 420.
There you go. Vault 420. Smoke weed every day.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I just got even more excited about it today, only because I found out what the release date for it is, and it comes out on November 10th, which is 4 days before my birthday.
Oh man.
This guy's going to be taking a week off from work.
Okay. So speaking of release dates, what about all that pre-release news? If you pre-order the game, it comes with your very own Pip-Boy.
For $129.99, you can get a Pip-Boy that works with any of your phones, and it connects to the game, and it's going to be awesome.
Do you know how many people we're going to see walking around with Pip-Boys?
I'm going to want Pip-Boy every day.
Everybody's going to be walking around with Pip-Boys.
Everyone's going to be like, hey, I just got the new Apple Watch. I'm going to be like, you know what? I just got the Pip-Boy 3000.
You guys, wait, this is right now just a tie-in merchandise, but it's going to become so popular that, years from now, there's going to be actual Pip-Boys, all thanks to Fallout.
Yep, and then when nuclear fallout happens, we're all going to be ready.
I'll be able to track my stats, use bats,
Yeah.
fight swamp rats.
I can increase my charisma so I
Rat
can...
roaches.
Yeah.
I can talk to pretty girls and all that kind of stuff.
Caleb, you'll never be able to talk to pretty girls, don't fool yourself.
Hey, I talk to one every day. Thank you very much.
Like your mom doesn't count.
Yeah.
I like how me and Sam were both like your mom.
I know. Shout out to my girlfriend
Okay.
for listening.
All right, so enough with the games, but actual news.
Sorry.
We really went on a tangent.
That's actual news for me.
Yeah. Well, it is. We did go on a tangent there. Anyway, so while you were in New York, Josh, 2 convicted murderers broke out of prison.
Oh, really?
First of all, nicest guys I've ever met. Okay. They said as long as I let them stay in my closet for a few days, they wouldn't murder my family. So I've really got to commend them for that. But to be honest, I had not even heard of this story until after I left the city. And I'm glad, because I probably would have been freaking out. But because when I was in the city, I was on the ground so much doing stuff that I didn't really check my phone or I wasn't on the internet. I was like, just in the city. So I'm glad. But I'm safe, so that's all I care about.
Yeah, screw the public, right?
Right, our listeners.
Yeah.
We lose one every week.
Yeah. They've been gone for like 9 days so far. So, actually, one of them just had a birthday.
Oh, well, hey.
Happy birthday, convicted murderer that escaped from prison.
I wonder what he wishes for when he blows out his candles.
To be free.
Don't let me get shanked in the or in the bathroom this year. That'd be nice.
Yeah, so there's two families in some countries who I can't pronounce their name. But anyway, we blew up some house, right? The United States did. And their husbands died. And so they're suing the United States.
Wait, just the husbands?
Yeah, the husbands, yeah. So...
Did we blow up their shed or something?
Like the garage?
Yeah.
But yeah, so two of the families are actually, they're suing the United States. And, and they're in a war zone. Like, look, it sucks. There's civilian casualties in every war.
Yeah.
So, that'd be like someone from, like, Germany suing, the U.S. for bombing them.
Or like Japan.
During World War II. Or, yeah, like one of those civilians, yeah, when we nuked Japan.
Oh, man. Good times.
Speaking of U.S. military might, so some ISIS dude, whatever, he posted a selfie right online, and I guess the GPS was enabled because 22 hours after that selfie was taken, we blew up where he was, which happened to be in ISIS headquarters. So,
hey!
Yeah.
That's good. Go team.
Go team. Yeah, we got him for that one.
So why do we blow up this house, by the way?
I don't know. We blow up lots of people.
We just blew it, like we just dropped a bomb somewhere, and oh, sorry guys.
I'm sure there was a a reason for all that. So.
Okay, all right. So it wasn't just like we're just randomly
dropping bombs. Yeah.
We're just playing Battleship out here.
E4.
All right, you guys. Today on the show, I am more than enthusiastic, more than ecstatic to announce that we have our very first live musical guest, a good friend of mine and a good friend of Tim. If you like what you hear, you can check him out at facebook.com/CalebPattonCovers. We're going to link to him off our Facebook. We'll like him off our SoundCloud. He's really great. He's been making a splash, in the local music scene around here. And I expect great things from him. Anyways, this is our first musical guest, Caleb Patton, playing a cover of
When the Devil's Loose by A.A. Bondi.
Caleb Patton, take it away.
Up where the evening sun, the river rolls on by. The neighbors, they tell secrets. The neighbors, they tell lies. And somewhere the plane went down. These things, they never stop. Somebody feels the night, and somebody calls the cops. Oh, the living and the dying, how easily you bruise. Oh, dear, don't go around when the devil's loose. A cigarette waits in the shadow, someone drowned in the lake. The march of Georgian feet dogs will tear your flesh. You best give them a bone. I see you there in a sea of faces. I see you there alone. In the living, in the dying, how easily you bruise. Oh, Delia, don't go around when the devil's loose. And what does a mirror show you? Can you see the gray? Your sadness, it is quite lovely, but it's the sadness of a slave. Why don't you give yourself a rest? Give yourself some room. You can't get your arms round everybody. You cannot carry the doom of the living and the dying. How easily you bruise. So Delia, don't go around when the devil's loose.
Woo!
Ooh,
All right.
it's pretty nice.
Oh. Well, I don't think we ever even have any other musical guests here on Tim and Josh Show. We found our in-house band.
Our in-house band.
ft.CalebPattonCovers. So,
On the real though, if you have music that you would like for us to play, send it to us.
send our email, timandjoshshow@gmail.com. Message us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube. Just get a hold of us. We check everything constantly every day. But getting back to the music that we just heard, Caleb Patton. Caleb, that was fantastic. How long have you actually been playing for?
I've been playing for about a year and a half. Consistently playing for about a year and a half. I started years ago, being in a bad relationship and needed something to get my mind off of it. So I picked up playing the ukulele and then realized that my hands were too big for the baby ukulele, so I picked out the bigger ukulele.
Oh, rad.
And so I enjoy playing the baritone ukulele immensely, and it is a lot of fun.
Well, that's
Nice.
right.
Size does matter.
If you liked Caleb Patton, again, where can we find you at?
You can actually go on Facebook.com/CalebPattonCovers. It's all one word. I do shows just about anywhere, anytime you tell me to be there. I'll play terrible songs that I'm not that good at.
Brilliant. So if you like listening to Caleb again, look him up. He's also going to be on the show with us for a few episodes.
He's gonna be on the shoe.
I'm going to be on your shoe.
So we're going to have him around for a little bit. That's not the last music we're going to hear from him, hopefully. If his instrument doesn't magically break in the middle of the night, because some of us are jealous. We'll have him on the show next week and possibly the week after that. But getting back into the topic we were talking about earlier, which was my amazing adventure, not Caleb's. After New York City, I also went to Boston, Massachusetts, and Salem, which is where they held the Salem witch trials. And I'll get through Salem first, because Salem, I wasn't there for long. Salem is pretty much like... You ever seen the Disney movie Halloween Town, the Disney Channel movie Halloween Town?
I haven't. No.
You haven't seen the Disney... Have you ever watched the Disney Channel movie, Tim?
What is Disney?
Okay, that's what I thought. Well, hopefully they're sponsors in the future, Tim. Well, it's pretty much whatever. The whole town is like Halloween 24/7. Like, that's all they do. Like, there's witches everywhere, and there's candles and pumpkins and Ouija boards and fortune tellers, and like that's all that town is Halloween Town.
Halloween's my favorite holiday, so...
I know, it was, believe me, it was awesome. and beautiful and great, and I want to go back there. But Boston was great. I got to stay in the Boston Park Plaza Hotel, which was the nicest hotel I've ever been in.
Please don't mind our terrible Boston accents.
Right. Boston's like, that's not how we sound at all.
I'm gonna come kick his ass.
So in Boston, I stayed in one of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed in. The Wi-Fi, though, I've never been in a hotel. They ask for $25 if you want to connect to the
What?
Wi-Fi. Yeah, like nice hotel. I'm talking. There's a bar downstairs and like this, like everything's expensive, and it's a nice hotel. They have valets and everything. And if you try to connect to the Wi-Fi, it asks you for a credit card and $25.
It sounds like an airplane.
Yeah, I was like, no, thank you, Boston. I'll go down.
Boston.
But
Did they have a data limit too?
I don't know. I didn't connect to it, so I have no idea. But I mean, again, I was in the hotel for very long. I found this really nice like cafe, and at this cafe they were just serving a lot of local beers and stuff. So I gotta try a bunch, which means I got wasted in Boston. And the bar there, the beer was actually pretty good. I didn't like some of it, but some of it I loved. There are so many different bars in Boston. Like, that's all Boston is bars. Cool bars. Like, oh, I saw one called the Cock and Bull. So...
Wait. You were at the Cock and Bull?
Yeah, that's actually... the one in New York City was the one I stayed next to in my hotel.
Okay, because Stephen Amell, Jason Momoa, and, like, all the people from Arrow were just recently at the Cock and Bull.
Well, I was
So was Josh.
I was just at the Cock and Bull.
Well, you suck.
Yeah, it was nice. It's like, it's this nice, like, English, they serve things like shepherd's pie.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Like...
They serve haggis?
Alright, you guys. So that's another rousing, successfully awesome episode of the Tim and Josh Show featuring Caleb Patton on these...
We hope you enjoyed the 4th episode.
We
didn't, but that's alright.
Right. The beautiful music you hear in the background right now was our good pal Caleb Patton. Again, find him on facebook.com/CalebPattonCovers. And can't wait to have him on the show later on.
While you're on Facebook, go find us on Facebook at Tim and Josh Show. So we're on Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter, iTunes.
Literally everything you can think of. We're always looking for artists we don't know or artists other people don't know, music we like. We have some great stuff lined up in that field, and if anyone else thinks that they have good music, show it to us. We'd love to have you on the show, and maybe even on the show to play for us live. So that makes me Josh.
And I'm Tim.
And this is the Tim and Josh Show. Let's listen to Caleb Patton Covers covering a version of Wagon Wheel.
I pick a banjo now. Oh no, country winters keep getting me down. Lost my money playing poker, so I had to leave town. But I ain't headed back to living that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey. Mama, rock me. Oh, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Walking to the south out of Roanoke, I caught a trucker at a Philly had a nice long tow, but he's headed west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee, and I gotta keep a move on before the sun. I hear my baby calling my name, and I know that she's the only one, and if I die in Raleigh, at least I will die free. Hey, hey, so rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Oh, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.